This is a piece of cardstock. This is Pacific Point. It is 7 inches by 5 inches. And I've put it on the Simply Scored scoring tool and scored parallel to the 7-inch side at 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inches, and 4 inches. Then I turned it a quarter turn on my scoring board and I scored it at 1/2 of an inch, 1.5 inches, and then again at 6 inches. And again, on my blog post you'll see a diagram of where you're going to cut away from these score marks, and this is what you're going to end up with. Going from here, this is the bottom of your box, this is the top, the bottom flaps and the top flaps, and you're going to end up making this second section. I don't know if you can see it very well. Just this long rectangle right here is going to be the front of your box. So the next thing that I need to do is make a couple of holes in here. The first one that I want to do is to punch a 1-inch hole right here, and you're going to want to center that at 2 1/8 inch, and you're centering between basically these two score lines, this one here at 1.5 and this one here at 6 inches that you made, and it's going to be up into the second panel right up here where my thumb is. Now ideally you would use a 1-inch circle punch, but this is my old style. I think they used to call them whale punches, and it doesn't reach quite all the way in there. So what I'm going to use is the 1-inch square punch. So let me unlock it. Then I'm going to go up here to the second panel. I'm just going to kind of eyeball this because I don't really care. Oh, my kitty's going to help. So I'm going to eyeball this right in the center of that second panel and pop that out. Kitty, are you done helping? So that's where we have the 1-inch punch, whether it's a circle or square. And then I'm going to snip into some of these score marks. This is a little flap that you're going to want to keep on here. So you're going to cut down in between these score lines to the 1.5 inch score line that you made. And then on the bottom, you're going to cut from the bottom into the 6-inch score mark that you made, and just snip right along those score lines. Okay, now the next part is completely optional, but if you would like to do this, it kind of helps to make all the flaps close. And this is, I don't know if you can see this very well, but if you take just a teeny tiny little area and cut sort of an angle in to the end of that, you can sort of see it makes like a half of a V. Now I'm not going to cut the box top. This is my box top. I'm just going to shave it off to be a little bit more straight with the score mark there. So you can sort of see there's like a half a V right there. And you're going to do this on each side of these flaps here. This just cuts away some of the excess so that when you fold it, when you fold down the flaps, you don't have a bunch of excess stuff in your way. And again, I've got this last one, just take it a little bit off of there. It doesn't have to be perfect. So you can see that you're cutting away a little bit of that. And you can do this to all of the bottom ones as well. You'll be able to see it a little bit better when I do it on the bottom ones. We have the front of your box right here, and again you can tell because that flap is sticking up there. Okay, so let me just get that glued for you real quick. And I like to use the Tombow multi-purpose glue. It doesn't take a whole lot. So again, let me line this up so I can figure out what I'm doing. So this is my rightmost. I'm going to put the glue under there. And you just put the glue in that 4.5 inch panel area. And then what I'm going to do is just fold that other side's panel down. I'm going to bring this one over, set it down there, and just fold it right over the top and just burnish it down so the adhesive can grab a hold. It grabs hold pretty quick. And then I'm actually going to kind of mash it the other way just so my box is sort of square. Okay, at this point, again, you've got the top up here, and these are your bottom flaps. What you want to do is make sure that this flap on the bottom is folded back last. So let's pull that out of the way. We don't want to worry about that. So I'm going to pull the bottom flap, the back bottom flap down first. Let me grab my glue, and I'm just going to put a dab of glue on there. Then I'll fold down one of the sides, just a dab of glue. I'll fold down the other side, again just a dab of glue, don't really care. But before I pull that last one forward, get this little paper string over here, before I pull this last flap forward, I'm going to actually put some glue right here on the edge of it, because I want to make sure that that little edge is actually, you know, tacked down real good. So here we go. Try not to get glue all over my fingers. Alright. And you press that down. Sorry, I'm not really great with the camera. And you just press that down. If you want to take and put it on your work surface, then you can take something like, I have this pencil that doesn't really have an end. You can press down in there with it. Or you can take your bone folder. This is my old bone folder. And you can fit that down in there. And you're basically pressing the bottom of the bone folder against the bottom of the box so that when it's on your work surface, it's pressing back against the bone folder. And that'll seal it nice for you. So now you have your box. That's complete. Don't need your glue anymore. So put the lid on so it doesn't dry out. With this box, you're going to just take 3 treats. I'm going to take them out of the box that I've already made. We'll just recycle our candies, don't tell anyone. So these are Lindor Truffles from the Lindt, L-I-N-D company, not Pocket Lindt, but chocolate company. So what I did was I sort of folded, the wrapper ends will be sticking out, I sort of folded them back towards the back of the candy, and the back of the candy goes towards the back of the box. Then I just slide it in. Don't have to worry about sticking your finger all the way down in there and getting it all the way down in there. This is the second candy. It's the center candy. So this fits 3 candies. So what you want to do is make sure that you choose the color of your candy that you're putting in the center, because that's going to be the only one that's going to show. The other candy wrapper colors really don't matter, but the one that's going to show, you're going to want to use coordinating colors with your ornament. So all I have to do now is wrap the sides down, and then I fold this side down. This little piece right here is a little flap. This gets tucked in here, and you can trim it along the edges a little bit of that flap if you need to, and then you're good to go. Now we're going to put an ornament on the front of this, and we're going to punch a hole in that ornament. So in order to put this on here and have the candy peek through, what I have done is taken a 3/4 inch punch, and that's this one. I only have the old style punch for this one. But what I did, and let's see how easy this is for you to tell, on this specific ornament, the little detail in the center is symmetric, so it's really easy to just eyeball it at the bottom of your punch to see where the center is, because you'll have like equal parts of the design all around the circle that's at the bottom there. So when you think you've got it pretty much equal in there, I'm not sure best way to see that, then you just punch and you've got your hole in there. At that point, all you're going to have to do is go to the back of this ornament and add a couple of Stampin' Dimensionals. Now when you place your Stampin' Dimensionals, be aware that this is a 3/4 inch punch and this is a 1 inch punch. So you're going to want to set your Stampin' Dimensionals away from the opening on the ornament just a little bit. It only takes a couple. And just line that up over your candy. Just sort of set it down gently so that you can pull it back up and rearrange it if you need to. So I took about 15 inches off of my baker's twine. This is Island Indigo, but it does match real well with the coordinates real well with the Pacific Point. So what I did was kind of had a little bit hanging over the edge here. Turn it around this way maybe. And then I just wrapped it a few times to where it comes around to the front. And then I did a what's called a square knot. So if you take the right piece and put it over the left, and then just go under and pull it, and then you take the string that's on the left and put it over, meaning on top of, the string that's on the right, wrap it under and pull it through, then you've got a square knot. For the top, I took another piece of Baker's twine. I guess I can show you what that is. That's the Island Indigo. And I took about 24 inches, so I measured down here on my paper at 12 inches, and then at another 12 inches roughly. And I'll snip that. I did sort of the same thing, but I let it, I took a little bit more out to the edge before I wrapped it around. So we'll do 1, 2, 3. Really only wraps around there twice. When you tie the bow, that's the third time around. So in order to tie the bow, everybody knows how to tie a bow. So I just tied it, did the first loop, and tied that around, and pull it to make your little bow. Kind of pull it back to, you know, make the size you want. And then I took these ends, these two ends, and I just made a bow again, just as I did the first time. Loop it up, wrap it around, and pull the string through. And that's a little bit short, but I'll just pull it back. And you can play around with this to where you basically get the two loops, like I did on this one,